Picture this, a recruiter has 90 resumes open and 40 seconds for each. Yours and the next one are nearly identical, same skills, same projects. Then he spots one line on yours. Databricks Certified Data Engineer Associate, yours moves to the yes pile. That is what this badge does. It proves you can build on the Lakehouse and it gets you past the filter. But here is where most people waste weeks. They study everything equally, every topic the same hours. That is the slow path. We are going to study by weight instead. A multi-week map, one beat per exam domain, the trap topics and the exam day tactics that bank you points. Take a look at what this exam actually is. It is multiple choice, it is timed, and it uses a scaled passing score. It is a broad test of Lakehouse data engineering, not a deep dive on any one tool. And here is the part that changes how you prepare. It rewards understanding how Databricks and Delta actually work, not memorize syntax, scenario questions, not flashcards. One warning before we go further. The exact question count, the time limit, and the passcode do change between exam versions. Always confirm those numbers in the current official exam guide. That guide is your source of truth all the way through. Here is the single highest leverage idea in this whole roadmap. The exam weights its domains unevenly. Production pipelines and ELT carry the most points. So you spend your hours in proportion to that weight. A domain worth 25% of the exam deserves roughly 25% of your time. Not more, not less. And please do not overinvest in the light domains just because they feel comfortable. That is how people run out of study time on the topics that actually decide the result. Pull the exact percentages from the current guide, then size your study plan to match them. Weight first, chapters second. Let me hand you the 4-week map. Week 1 is Lakehouse and Delta, tables, asset, time travel and merge. Week 2 is Ingestion, auto-loader copy into and multi-hop ELT. Week 3 is production, jobs, scheduling, Delta live tables and orchestration. Week 4 is Unity catalog governance, plus testing and deployment, plus your first practice exams. Now the rule that makes this map work, every week you read the concept and then you actually do it in a free Databricks community or trial workspace. Reading alone will not get you there. Let us walk the first domain, Lakehouse and Delta fundamentals. This is the foundation. Everything else hits on. They test the Lakehouse model itself. Delta Lake, ACID transactions, the transaction log and time travel. You want a few things cold here. Manage versus external tables, the merge, update and delete commands. They optimize and z-order pair and vacuum, and one mental model ties it all together. The medallion architecture, bronze to silver to gold. Raw lands in bronze, gets cleaned in silver, gets aggregated in gold. Almost every other domain maps back to that flow. Now let me show you how they actually frame delta questions because the pattern repeats. When a question says recover a table to an earlier state, that is your signal to reason toward time travel. Version as of or restore. When it says upsert new and changed rows in a single statement, that is merge into one statement. Both cases handled, and watch this one carefully. Managed versus external. Dropping a managed table deletes the underlying data. Dropping an external table leaves the files behind. That distinction shows up again and again. Take a look at the actual delta commands they love to test. First, merge into your silver table using the updates, matching on keys. When matched, you update. When not matched, you insert, that is upsert in one clean statement. Second, recovery. Restore table orders to version as of 12 or just select from it at that version if you only want to read the old state. Third, maintenance. Optimize orders. Z order by customer ID to compact and cluster the files. Then vacuum orders to remove old data files. And remember, vacuum is cleanup, not a speed boost. Let us move to the second domain, data ingestion and ELT. This is one of the heavy ones, so give it real time. They test autoloader, which you configure with cloud files, plus copy into reading from cloud storage and schema inference and evolution. Notice the order of the letters, it is ELT not ETL. You land the raw data into bronze first, then transform it up through silver and gold inside the lakehouse. And no two more ideas cold, batch versus incremental loading and idempotent loads. An idempotent load survives a rerun without double counting your rows. Here is how they frame the ingestion questions. And once you see the pattern, you will spot it instantly. When the scenario says new files arrive continuously, load them incrementally, that points to autoloader with cloud files. When it says an idempotent batch load that will not double insert on a rerun, that points to copy into tracks what it already loaded. And when it says incoming files add a new column, keep loading without breaking, that is schema evolution. Merge schema, read for how the data arrives, and the right tool falls right out. Now the third domain, production pipelines and jobs. This one carries serious weight, so it earns serious hours. They test Lakeflow jobs, which you will also see called Databricks jobs, tasks, schedules, dependencies, and retries. And they test Delta Live tables, the declarative pipeline framework. With Delta Live tables, you declare what you want, you add expectations for data quality, and you choose streaming or triggered mode. No multitask job graphs, how clusters get reused across tasks, and how a failed task gets retried or surfaced to you. Production is where the points pile up. Let me show you the production question patterns because they read almost like real on the job tickets. When it says run task B only after task A succeeds, that is a multitask job with a dependency between the two. When it says drop or quarantine rows that fail a quality rule, that is delta live tables expectations and expect clause. And when it says a task fails intermittently and you want fewer manual reruns, that is configuring retries on the task. Every one of these is a behavior, not a syntax recall. Learn the behavior and the answer is obvious. Let us cover the fourth domain, data governance and Unity catalog. Do not skip this one because it feels like admin work. It is tested. They test Unity catalog, which gives you a 3-level namespace, catalog, then schema, then table, plus grant-based access control. No managed versus external locations, data lineage and how governance is centralized across all your workspaces from one place. And understand how privileges flow, they move through securable objects. So you should be able to answer who can grant what to whom. That is the heart of the governance questions. Now, the fifth domain, testing and deployment. It is lighter than production, but it still scores, so do not ignore it. They test validating your pipelines before they hit production, parameterizing your notebooks, and promoting code from development to production. You want to know how to test a transformation and how to catch data quality regressions early before they reach real users. And the deployment basics matter too. Job parameters, separate environments, and the discipline of never hard coding file paths or secrets. Use widgets and the secret store instead. Clean promotion is the whole game here. Let me give you the one rule that separates people who pass from people who reset. Reading about autoloader will not pass you, running it will. So in a free workspace, do all of this with your own hands. Build a delta table, run a merge on it, time travel it back to an earlier version, wire up a 2-task job, and add a single delta live tables expectation. Here is why it works. Concepts you have actually touched stick under pressure. Concepts you have only read about blur the moment the clock is running. Touch everything once. Now let me walk you through the trap topics, the places people quietly lose points. First, trap managed versus external tables. Drop a managed table and the data is gone. Drop an external table and the files stay behind. Second trap, autoloader versus copy into incremental and streaming versus idempotent batch. Pick by how the data arrives. Third trap, the Unity catalog 3-level namespace versus the old Hive Metastore style. And the last one, optimize and Z order versus vacuum. Optimize is for performance, vacuum is cleanup. Never mix those two up. Let me be honest about how people actually fail this exam so you can sidestep it. The first way, they go deep on notebook tricks and Spark trivia and they ignore the heavy jobs and Delta Live tables domain. They study the light stuff hard. The second way, they skip Unity catalog because it feels like admin, but it is tested and skipping it leaves real points on the table. And the third way, they cram syntax instead of behavior. Then the scenario questions hit, the ones that ask what should you do and the syntax does not save them. Study behavior. Here is the study loop that turns practice exams into a real pass. Take one time practice test, full conditions, clock running, then review every single wrong answer. And do not stop at the right letter. Trace it back to the underlying concept you missed. Track which domains you keep losing and restudy only those. Do not waste a single hour rereading the topics you already know. That feels productive, but it moves nothing. Then repeat the loop, keep going until you clear the scaled pass mark with comfortable margin, not by a hair. Let me give you the exam day tactics that bank you easy points. First, eliminate the clearly wrong options right away. Most questions collapse down to just two real choices once you do. Second, be suspicious of absolutes. Answers that say always or never are very often the wrong ones. Real systems have exceptions. Third, flag and return. If a question stumps you, mark it, move on, and bank all the easy points first. Do not burn 5 minutes stuck on one hard item while 3 easy ones wait. Manage the clock and the score takes care of itself. Let me point you at the resources that actually move the needle and skip the noise. First and most important, the official Databricks Certified Data Engineer Associate Exam Guide. That is your source of truth for the scope and the domain weights. Start there. Second, a free Databricks Community Edition or trial workspace for hands-on practice, paired with a set of reputable practice exams. And third, the Databricks documentation for the trap topics. Read the exact wording on Delta Autoloader and Unity Catalog. The precise phrasing in the docs is often the precise phrasing in the questions. Let me hand you the whole roadmap on one card, the thing to screenshot. Strategy first, study by weight, follow the multi-week map, do every concept hands-on, and run the review the wrong loop. The domains, ingestion, and ELT plus production jobs and Delta Live tables are the heavy hitters. Lakehouse and Delta is the foundation under all of it. Unity catalog and test and deploy are lighter, but do not skip them. And the traps, managed versus external, autoloader versus copy into, the Unity catalog 3-level namespace, and optimize versus vacuum. That card is your exam in one frame. Let me be straight with you about what this certificate signals and what it does not. It signals Lakehouse credibility and it clears resume filters. That is real, tangible value and it is worth your weeks. But here is the honest part. It does not prove you can run a platform at scale in production. No multiple choice exam can. So pair it with something concrete, a real pipeline project you built and can talk through. The certificate plus a portfolio pipeline. That combination is what actually lands you the role. The badge opens the door, the project walks you through it. So let us bring this lesson home. We built a complete plan to pass the data engineer associate, study by weight, a 4-week map, every concept hands-on, the trap topics and exam day tactics. That gets you the badge, but the badge is the start, not the finish. The full course, Databricks complete platform, linked below, covers every one of these exam domains hands-on, end-to-end. That is what makes you genuinely dangerous on the platform. Subscribe for the pipeline and Lakehouse deep dives coming next. And if you are taking the exam soon, drop your date in the comments. I would love to hear how it goes.